Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. And once again we have brought some interesting stuff. Many people have been questioning, have been putting up doubts, have been asking me personally, how to prepare for the interviews after CAT. The college calls, some of the calls are out. Jain, I think, calls are out. IIMs, main IIMs, the Blackie IIMs, all calls are out by now, and people now know that they have been selected in this particular IIM interviews and how to go about it. People have been wondering, let me tell you, there is no strict way of how you should go for an interview, because nobody knows what kind of questions would come, right? So nobody knows which direction the interview would go, but you can definitely create that direction for yourself. And that is what I'm going to tell you in this video, exactly that how to create that way for yourself so that you can drive your interview in the right direction. So first of all, two very important things when you go into the interview. First of all, many people have been asking that whether we should take a mobile and give the interview, because many people, when the CAP calls were out last year also, I was giving the interview and then I shared my experience. There is a video of my new IIM's CAP interview experience. You can refer to that as well. And people there asked in numbers that whether we can give the CAP interviews through our mobile or not. Now I understand that many people might not be well equipped enough, or might be in a place where the laptop and the desktop is not accessible. So in that case, you can give, but probably if you do not have any constraint as such, which is unavoidable, you can strictly try to give the interview through the laptop only or the desktop only, because it's very important to structure your interview accordingly, because it's about the medium and how you look through the lens, because they are not seeing you physically, right? So some people decide to give the interviews with a vertical mobile camera. That is absolute no. Even if you are using a mobile, try to keep it on a tripod. Try to give the interviews like this. In fact, I also gave an interview, not the IIM interviews, one of the job interviews I gave, because my laptop crashed at the last moment. And that kind of thing is there, but you should do it properly. Keep it on a tripod maybe, and keep it in a vertical mode, or keep it at a place where you can be ensured that the mobile will be at its place in a vertical, horizontal position, and then you can give the examination. Never go for a vertical mode of mobile phone, and strictly try to go for a laptop or a desktop. It won't be that hard, right? If your friends might be having it, so go to their place and give the interview. And if you are not at all comfortable, you can give it with mobile. Second is, go in business formals here. Go in business formals and strict formals. Formals means a proper shirt, a tie and a coat would be great. I didn't wear it personally. For one interview I did, but for the other 2 or 3 interviews I didn't. But that doesn't matter. You can go with a shirt, but do not go in casual wear like a t-shirt or something like that. Do not try to refrain or avoid that, because your looks matters a lot. What else matters is your body language and your eye contact. So make a continuous eye contact. Do not look here, there, up, down. Don't do that. It seems very bad. Your body language, use your hand gesture properly like I am doing it. Do not overdo it. Do not make it redundant. Do not make it unnecessary or forceful. So these are the small tidbits. Now talking about the interview, some questions are going to be very cliche questions, like why MBA? Very cliche question, right? So why MBA? The structure of answer should be framed prior to going to the interview. Now many people frame their answers seeing YouTube videos, but let me tell you, your story is different from another person's story, so your answer will also be different from another person's answer. So seeing YouTube videos and straight away referring to them won't really help. My personal answer was, again I say that you shouldn't be copying exactly the same. You should have your own story to back your argument. My answer was, I'm a startup guy. I've been associated with startups. I wanted to know how business functions. How the different departments of operations, of supply chain management, of finance, of marketing, of sales, they come together in a common platform to produce great results in business, and how the business flourishes from a small stage to a larger stage. I wanted to know the growth cycle of that particular business, and that was my exact answer, that why I did MBA. Apart from this, my work experience, I said that I related it with my work experience. So if you have work experience, try to relate that with this answer, that I have seen this in my work experience, and because of that I think that I possess the abilities and I should be and I must try for a managerial position. Something on that note, apart from this, some cliche questions will be there from your work experience, will be there, provided you speak about it in the introduction. It is more apparent that it will be asked. Even if you do not, work experience is something that questions will arise from. So better write in an application form some good bit of work experiences from where they can ask you questions from. Like if you were a project manager, try to mention the projects that you did, whether it was a waterfall project, if you were a product management or a project manager, so waterfall project or agile methodology project. If you were in manufacturing, you can mention that you have done some Six Sigma or Lean Six Sigma projects. You can do that. If you were in sales and marketing, what kind of different tools did you use, what kind of CRM tools you used, what kind of digital marketing tools you used, you can talk about those. What are the strategies, you should talk about those. And whatever field you used to work in, you should study that in thorough details. Apart from it, if you are a fresher and you do not have a work experience, you should study your academics properly. Questions will be asked from your academics if you do not have work experience, because they don't have anything else to evaluate you on, right? Because you do not have a work experience that will tell that this thing I have done. So probably they will ask your hobbies, interests, and your academic qualifications and the stories from your acads, like in your college days, what kind of responsibilities you took up, how you performed in them, and if there is a subject matter expert in the squad who is from your background, so that will be even more apparent that questions will come from your academic qualifications. So prepare well beforehand. Now, I tell this many a times. What drives the way? What kind of questions will be asked to you? There's a driver, right? Everything goes through a way. Can you influence that way? Absolutely. Your 1.5 minutes. Shah Rukh Khan in a movie said that 70 minutes hai tumhare paas. You guys have 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes at max to set the direction of the interview. Your interview is within your hands. I tell this to people multiple times. Prepare your introduction. Prepare your introduction may be specific to every IIM, or prepare your introduction generic to all the IIMs and IITs. Whatever you wish to. I used to prepare a generic introduction, but people generally tend to neglect the introduction part. That let's focus on general knowledge, let's focus on current affairs, let's focus on work experience, let's focus on what we are going to say with what, let's focus on why MBA. But the most important thing that you should focus on and that drives your entire interview is your introduction. Prepare an extraordinary introduction with whatever life experiences you have gathered, the best of it all. Remember, it shouldn't be 1.5 minutes, like more than 1.5 or 2 minutes at max, because many people would just ask you to give the introduction within 30 seconds. That tell me quickly something about yourself in 30 seconds. Then you will have to be very, very spontaneous to pick up the best points from the 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes interview that, introduction that you have prepared, and concisely, crisp that up within 30 seconds. And then that is up to your spontaneity. But you should never prepare an introduction more than 1.5 and 2 minutes, because nobody is there to listen completely to your introduction for 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Nobody would do that. 1.5, max to max 2 minutes. Max to max, I'm saying 2 minutes. You may be told to crisp it down. So prepare your introduction way ahead. So you can mention things about your work experience, you can mention things about your interest, about your hobbies. If you have startups, mention about those. Any management aspects, any projects that you have done that has diverted you towards management, mention those. Because those are the things that will intrigue these management people out there, right? Because you are going in for a management course. If you make it too heavy on your engineering, then questions might be just revolving around those, and people won't even hire you after you answer all those questions, because you will be a tech geek rather than a guy who can look after the management. Mention the traits that establishes you as a manager. So I would like to specifically say that prepare your introduction well. and that's what will drive your interview. And that is the only trick there. You know where you are driving this. If you talk about your startups, you know exactly the next question will come from your 3 or 4 or 1 or 2, whatever startup you have shared. If you have shared your work experience heavily, you've stressed upon it. I've done a Six Sigma project, I've done a Lean Six Sigma project, I've done this cost savings, I've done this quality improvement. You know you are expecting a question from there, right? And accordingly you will have an answer. So you prepare the pathway. You exactly know what you are saying. You exactly know that the person in front of you, the interviewer, will ask you some questions from this point. You exactly have an answer for that, and that answer will lead to the next question. So prepare the answer also very well. Improve your choice of words. Improve your whatever you say, the content. Too much of words, words that is not playing in your favor. Sometimes we construct the answers, but we do not think too much. We try to use jargons, right? I will use a very heavy terminology, maybe. I will use an agile methodology. I used an agile methodology in my workplace, or I use some kind of some kind of digital marketing tool, maybe some customer relationships management tool I used. But then they ask you that, what are you exactly talking about? Do you know what does this customer relation management tool talks about? If they ask you and you do not have an argument to back that, you're gone, right? So you exactly know what you are saying. You choose your words. Even if you are given to choose, spontaneously choose your words only to those that you can answer. If you cannot answer that, do not spell that word. See, if they want to roast you, they will eventually roast you, but do not give them an opportunity upfront, right? You go and say something, you go and use some jargons that you cannot explain, and then they ask that what are you talking about, and you are completely out there shattered. Happened with me a couple of times. I used a certain bit of jargons and then I was stuck midway. And that's why I want to share the experience, that keep it simple, keep the thing crisp and tight, and tell what you have done. Do not try to exaggerate on the things. Do not try to use too many jargons that you cannot explain, and prepare your introduction well and lead them to questions that you can answer, and make your answer such that it leads to another question that you already have an answer prepared from. It seems very fascinating. It's not that easy to do. They can divert obviously to a different kind of topic, to a different kind of question, but it will be revolving around what you have done or what you have studied or what you have gone through. Your 21, 22, 25, 24 years of experience of your life. I do not count the first 16 years. So, the rest of the 5, 6, 7, 8 years, whatever you have done, that is what matters. 16 to 24, 16 to 23, those 7 years where you've completed your graduation, you've completed your class 11, 12, and you've completed your work experience, that is where the question will be concentrated from. So whatever you have mentioned in your introduction, in your CV, you should know every bit of that thing. That is where most of the people lag. That is where most of the people struggle. Some of the questions, some of the things they mention, they cannot answer on that, and that is where they are disqualified. So whatever you are saying in your introduction, whatever you are saying in your application form, be very true and honest to that, and learn thoroughly about it. Even if you are mentioning something that you do not know much about, read through it, gather knowledge, and then answer. So that will be my tricks and tips for as you go into the post-CAT interviews. All the very best. Any particular thing you want to know, just drop a text on engineeredlearnings@gmail.com. I would be more than happy to answer all you guys. I will personally converse you and try to help you with whatever I can, because I have been through a similar phase the earlier year. So once again, all the best to all the guys. If you like the content, like, share, and subscribe our channel. We are going to bring more videos on what institutes you should apply post-CAT, depending on your CAT score, what are the chances that you have. We are going to make some more videos, so keep updated. I will keep you updated, and to get the updates, hit the bell icon as well. That's it for today. Thank you very much.